think colorism has affected the black community in sort of a negative way because it's kind of dividing the community. And I think it's kind of what's not letting us get to that next level because we're actually fighting each other down rather than building each other up just because our shades might be different, not even our race. So I definitely think it affects the black community in a negative way.
It has affected us in the way that any advancement socially, economically, in any way, it has kind of slowed us down. And instead of having like a unified front as a people, we still have like this infighting amongst ourselves, and progress can't be made unless we solve the issues within our own community.
I feel like colorism has created some sort of xenophobia, in a sense. Coming from like the background I come from a country, from continent Africa, where colorism isn't much big of a deal. Well, I guess mostly when I was growing up, it wasn't that big of a deal. People won't really call you out or make fun of you for how you look or your color or how dark you are. But moving over here in the United States, the culture's a little bit different. Sometimes people take that and joke with it, however serious it gets. But it does create some sort of xenophobia in the sense that, in my opinion, um, people who might not be even light skinned but moderately like brown tend to kind of make this whole joke about somebody who's darker than them. Or if you're African, they make it look like you're extra darker, even though you might be the same shade as they are.
It's affected the black community because they place this stigma on people that light skinned people are better than dark skinned people. Light skinned people are going to get the job first. Light skinned people are going to be better with their bosses. And they put dark skinned people at the bottom. So, like, when you divide people, you create like an anger within your own community. And we're supposed to be one. We're supposed to be one black people.
Honestly, I think this division actually stemmed from slavery. You know, the situation of having house slaves, which were the lighter skinned, toned slaves. And then you had the darker slaves that worked in the fields. And I honestly think that it's something that has been carried on from slavery. And we as black people have actually, I don't think we realize that we have adapted that mindset, but we have.
I think it's mostly due to historical racism, honestly, because you always hear about the stories of the house slave and the field slave. You know, the house slave would normally be, the in-house, while the darker folk will be outside. So even from back then, and it has never really changed much. There's always this, quiet, discrimination amongst ourselves. So we still have that to deal with.
I feel like social media and the internet and television played a very important role because when you look at television shows, you mostly see light skinned children in commercials, you mostly see light skinned people in fashion and stuff like that. You rarely see dark skinned people. So I feel as if we ourselves are the cause of this divide and we're not helping it because we put this team light skin, team dark skin in our head, and then once you put it in our head, they're gonna carry it from generation to generation, and nothing's ever gonna get solved.
Growing up, um, I can specifically remember being called white boy a lot, and I don't know. I got it through all areas of my life, at school, when I was with my cousins and stuff like that. I just always be referred to as white boy, and I never understood why. I mean, besides the obvious being lighter skinned than I guess who were surrounding me at the time. But it kind of made me a loner. I won't lie. It segregated me. So, but when I did started track and field and stuff like that, like I learned to mix. But being met with that kind of segregation definitely made me standoffish.
You know, I get so much people call me chocolate, and I'm just like, can I just be black? And they call. I have a friend, and they'll be like, oh, chocolate and caramel. Can't we just be black? Why do you have to separate us by skin tone? It's always a separation by skin tone. And then we're gonna cause, dark skinned girls to want to be lighter skinned and to want to bleach their pretty dark skin.
I think that colorism does have a big impact on future generations because even in today's society, we see a lot more people, dating outside of the race, dating someone lighter, especially if they're darker, just trying to set their children up for a better future in a sense. Because I know even for me, growing up, I always used to I guess be more attracted to the lighter skinned girls with nice hair, just because not necessarily I'm thinking about myself, but necessarily thinking about my kids, and thinking that their lives would be easy, being lighter. But now that I'm older, I really think that's a backwards way to think, and I think that even the way that TV, advertises certain things, it's like it's hard to explain.
You could list off more light skinned role models than dark skinned role models. Not because they're not present, but you just know more. Like in terms of celebrities, you could list off Beyonce, Sierra, Shakira, all of those light skinned or white women. But when it comes to darker skinned women, like you have to take your time because you can't remember who all the dark skinned celebrities are. You can list off Serena.
We as a society can help break down on this unspoken bias by basically start following trends. I know ever since Drake came out, light skinned people are always perceived as the more sensitive kind. And I guess through social media, that kind of perspective stayed current. So just demolishing those trends and stuff like that will help us move forward.
It's something that we don't talk about, but it lessens my self confidence when I get called chocolate and then somebody else gets called something lighter than chocolate, and it puts me down. I get depressed because I'm like, okay, I'm dark skinned and there's nothing I can do about my skin tone. But it's something that we have to talk about because people don't know that I feel that way until I tell them not to call me chocolate or not to refer to me as a dark skinned girl, not to tell me I'm pretty for a dark skinned girl.
It influences us in a sense that we kind of get lost in how we should communicate with each other, you know, because instead of seeing eye to eye or being on like the same accord, we see and notice like these differences amongst ourselves. So we kind of get lost in, what it really means to like be black or what the things that we have in common.
I feel colorism will have a terrible effect on the future generations just because, like how it affected me, it's going to push people into their own corner. Like we're really being self-centered to the social media and technology and stuff like that. So to have that in addition to those things, it really pushes people to themselves and not helping one another. So.
The current climate we live in has definitely taken a big swing, and I feel like it won't affect future generations as much because nowadays we see people that are promoting self-love, and people are promoting acceptance and diversity. So I feel like our generation is a very good generation to kind of segue and change the concept. And I think future generations are actually better off because nobody is promoting segregation anymore. So if anything, they're the lucky ones.
Yeah, I heard the word colorism, but now I understand the deeper meaning, understanding how much it affects me, and the people around me, our community, our society. So I think that by starting this dialogue is a step in the right direction to, hopefully changing colorism.